everybody, it's Josie with Ozark Mountain Goats. Today we are shouting out number 7 in our 12 shout outs till Christmas. And I want to feature Stacie from Stacie's Country Cooking. She lives in rural Kentucky and serves up some great dishes. You need to get on over to her site and check her out. She makes some delicious looking southern dishes and just about everything you could think of. They also like to do some off-roading and camping and things like that. So I will leave a link in the description below, so please get over there and show some love and check out her videos. Again, that's Stacie's Country Cooking. Hey everybody, Merry Christmas. You know, when I think of Christmas baked goods and treats and things like that, I always think of peanut brittle. I don't know, maybe it's because I only make it in the wintertime, but I've got a recipe for spicy peanut brittle that is awesomely good. It's addicting. It's got cayenne pepper in it, and it's just got enough kick that you just want to keep eating it and keep eating it. But anyway, we're going to make that today. So to start off with, you're going to want to put half a stick of butter in your pot, and it calls for 2 cups of sugar, then I have got 1/2 cup of Karo. It calls for a teaspoon of salt, but it also calls for unsalted butter, and I don't buy unsalted butter. So I'm just cut back on the salt a little bit. I'm putting in half a teaspoon. And then it calls for a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. So you're just going to cook this kind of over a medium heat and let the sugar melt and the butter and everything. You want to make sure that you have your pan prepared for when this is ready. You're going to want a 9x13 pan. It can be glass or metal or whatever you've got, but you want to line it with some wax paper. That way it's easy to get the peanut brittle out. I actually happen to have a silicone pan here, very pliable, so I didn't line mine with wax paper. But it's not as big as a 9x13, so I do have a smaller disposable foil pan that if I need it, I'm going to put any excess in that pan. You're also going to need a thermometer for this, one that will go to at least 300 degrees. Once your sugar has melted and the mixture comes to a constant gentle boil, you're going to stop stirring, and that is when you start checking your temperature. And when it gets to 300 degrees, then you'll be ready to pull it off the stove. Okay, I've got a nice gentle boil. I want to check my temperature. I'm getting there, 255. All right, I'm at 300 degrees, so you're going to take it off the stove and immediately add a teaspoon of baking soda. Get that stirred in and add your 3 cups of peanuts. You got to kind of work fast. This sets up pretty good. Well, this set up too fast for me to actually put it in 2 different pans, so this will be a little thicker than I typically like it, but I'm sure it'll still be good. I'm going to let this harden up, and when I come back you can see the finished product. Okay, I'm back. I think this is cool enough to handle. I'm just going to slip on these disposable gloves so I won't be quite so sticky. Anyway, this comes out, as you can see, really easily. It's very pliable. One thing that I failed to mention is that most peanut brittle recipes call for a cup of peanuts. Now, if you're like I was, or your kids are like I was when I was real young, I didn't like any sort of nut at all, including peanuts. But I love peanut brittle. Well, I love the brittle part of the peanut brittle. And when I was a kid, the way that it was made was it was mostly brittle with a smattering of peanuts in it. So it was easy for me to break the nuts off and get rid of them and just eat the brittle part. This is chock full of nuts. This has 3 times the nuts of a normal recipe. This has 3 cups in it, and a normal recipe calls for a cup. So if you prefer your peanut brittle with less nuts, just either cut it in half or just use a cup. But anyway, I'm going to pull this out of here and just start breaking it up. Breaks pretty good. I was so good at picking out nuts. When we would get peanut M&Ms, I was an expert at holding on to it, biting it in half, pulling the nut out with my teeth and spitting it, and then I could just eat the candy coating. So I luckily grew out of that, and I love nuts now, especially pecans. Anyway, that's how you make spicy peanut brittle. And you can determine the amount of nuts you want in it. All right, looks good to me. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if you're not already a subscriber. Share this with your friends. Ring that bell for future notifications. Don't forget to check out Stacie's Country Cooking. And as always, we will catch you later.